You're about to see why Waffle House's open kitchen isn't a window into honesty, it's theater. Employees say the 24/7 setup hides how prep sits, how surfaces get shared, and how standards swing by shift and location. If you eat there after midnight, you're playing the house game. We'll show you the 10 menu landmines workers warn about, from fryer oil that turns nearly black to pre-cracked eggs left sitting, so you can stop guessing and start choosing safely. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. Costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Let's start with what you see. The grill, the waffle irons, the cooks calling orders. It looks transparent. Clean stainless, loud sizzle, quick hands. You feel in control because you can watch your breakfast take shape. That is the point. An open line sells trust like a showroom sells a car. Shiny finish up front. Shop workout back. But here's the kicker. From that stool, the trouble spots sit just out of frame. You can't see how long the gravy has held on heat. You don't know when the oil last got swapped or just topped off. You can't tell where the pre-cracked eggs rest or how often the bin gets refreshed. You hear the tickets, you don't hear the timers. It's a stage. You watch the scene, not the wings, props, or cues. Employees frame it the same way when they talk off the clock. The fryers run hard. Oil gets pushed because rushes don't pause for a filter cycle. Shared surfaces pick up anything that hits them. Hash browns soaking up stray grease. Eggs landing where raw meat stood a minute ago. Proteins that don't cook well from raw at speed often get par-cooked, cooled, and brought back to life on the line. Fast wins. Texture loses. The model rewards survival, not finesse. Pre-processed inputs roll in bags and tubs. Batch cooking fills pans before the rush. Warmers hold, just in case. The same spatula is often tasked with 6 jobs when the board lights up. Gear gets cross-used because there is no time for a full reset mid-surge. It's not a scandal, it's calculus. You don't see the boring but important safety guardrails either. Temperature logs live on clipboards you never read. Holding times hide on tiny stickers or in a manager's head. Sanitizer checks happen until the pace picks up, then "I'll change it in a minute" can stretch longer than it should. The shine on the hood won't tell you any of that. So the truth is, some foods wear those blind spots like a stain. Items that bathe in fryer oil taste like yesterday's fish when cycles lag. Things that sit gravy, chili, grits, get skins stirred back in and fixed with water. Eggs take on greasy notes when the flat top never gets a clean lane. Chicken breasts get rubbery when they're cooked twice. Steaks turn gray on a crowded surface and still miss the mark. That's the real kicker of the open kitchen. It projects control, but the variables that decide what hits your plate live offstage in prep bins, timers, and training. You're not buying what you watch. You're buying the systems you can't see, plus how well a tired crew runs them under fire. Now let's move on to when the show gets sloppiest. After midnight. After midnight, the rules change. At 12:01 a.m., you get fewer hands on the line, faster tickets, and a room full of customers who are tired, hungry, and not in a mood to file a complaint. The pace jumps while the oversight drops. The truth is, speed drives choices, not quality. Let's start with staffing. Overnight crews are often thinner and newer. When the board lights up, one cook runs the flat top, the irons, and the fryer. Shortcuts creep in because they have to hit times. That means less resetting, less washing, more "that's fine." Send it. You feel it in the food that lands soft, greasy, or late. Now add the leftovers from earlier. Batches made for dinner service keep riding the heat into the graveyard hours. Pre-cracked eggs sit in a container waiting on the rail. The flat top balances raw pork on one corner and breakfast orders on the other, with hash browns soaking up whatever is left on the steel. It's a blend of old and new that favors the clock, not the taste. Speed versus safety is the bargain. Gravy and chili get held to survive the rush. A skin forms, it gets stirred back in. The pan looks short, it gets thinned with water to stretch another hour. If the temp stays high, you skate by. If it slips, you drift toward the danger zone. And no, a quick stir doesn't fix what time already did. Here's the example that says it all. A pan that's been babysat for hours on low heat is like a space heater on a cold day. Fine if it hums hot the whole time. Risky the minute it sags. The line is busy. the knob gets bumped, and now the surface reads warm while the middle falls short. That is how kept warm turns into kept too long. Employees talk about cross-use when the bars let out. Pork chops, eggs, and hash browns share the same real estate on the clock. The spatula that flipped meat becomes the tool that moves your omelet. Wipes get a fast pass instead of a full clean. This is where cross-contamination risk climbs and odd flavors hitch a ride. Oversight thins out, too. Fewer managers walk the floor at 3 a.m. Training is lighter on the graveyard shift. Inspectors don't drop in at that hour. Without eyes on logs and holding times, the guardrails turn soft. The crew does what it can to keep up, but standards bend with the rush. So what gets hit hardest by time, temperature, and turnover? Items that sit, proteins that get reheated, anything that needs a clean lane to taste right. From midnight to dawn, consistency breaks. If you have to eat, keep it simple and make them cook it fresh to order. Now let's talk specifics. The worst offenders staff warn you to skip. Some items just don't survive the way this place runs. This isn't about one bad cook or one rough shift. It's patterns. Oil that stays too long. Proteins that get cooked twice. Gear that pulls double duty when the board floods. That's where the wheels come off. Let's start with the 3 stacks of risk that keep showing up. Fryers and oil. Reheated proteins. Long hold sides. When those line up, quality drops and odd flavors sneak in. You smell it before you taste it, and once you taste it, fryers first. When oil change cycles stretch, chicken and hash browns soak up whatever the fryer has been through. Day after day, the oil darkens, turns smokier, and starts to cling. Breaded chicken drinks that up and comes out with a burnt, stale bite that overpowers any seasoning. Hash browns lose their clean crisp and pick up a bitter edge. If fish runs in the same fryer, that ghost sticks to everything. One load can haunt a shift. Flat top meats aren't a prize either. Steak and pork chops often show up frozen, then get rushed on a crowded surface. On a hard push, the line leans on pre-cook and reheat, which dries them out and flattens the flavor. The surface is shared with bacon, eggs, and hash browns, so cross-contact risk goes up and you get a greasy, muddled taste that doesn't match grilled to order. Reheated poultry is another trap. The grilled chicken breast is often pre-cooked and sealed, then finished on the line. It heats fast, but the payoff is a rubbery chew with generic seasoning notes that scream factory. You expect char. You get bounce. Warm-held items are where time wins. Sausage gravy, chili, grits, big batches sit and wait. A skin forms, gets stirred back in, and the texture turns pasty or thin depending on how much water went in to stretch it. If temps slide, safety slides with them. It's the slow cooker problem without the slow cooker control. Eggs suffer during a rush. Pre-cracked containers sit on the rail while the flat top runs nonstop. Eggs hit a greasy lane that just cooked raw proteins and starch. That's how you end up with slick, off-texture eggs that wobble or go rubbery. Complaints spike when the line is slammed because there's no time to reset the surface between orders. Then there are the bonus hazards. Waffles come from a mix and irons that rarely get a true deep clean, so buildup leaves a faint stale note. Bacon gets par-cooked in batches and held under heat, turning tough and leathery. Tomatoes are often pre-sliced and slump in their bins until they taste like water. And if cleaning lags, ice machines and soda nozzles grow a film you don't want near your drink. So what do you order instead? Keep it basic and make it fresh to order. Plain hash browns cooked on a clean lane, toast, hot coffee, and try daytime at a well-rated spot. Simple plays better in this system. Now let's move to the exact item staff flag as the worst buys. The open kitchen sells trust. The real safety lives where you can't look, timers, logs, training, turnover. That's the truth that decides if your plate is fine or a problem. What you see is staged, what matters runs off stage. So here's how you protect yourself. Check local health scores. Go in daylight. Keep orders simple. Skip reheated proteins. Eggs fresh cracked. Hash browns cooked to order. Coffee hot and recent. If this gave you something to chew on, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone. Want a field guide to low-risk orders at 24/7 chains? Tell us which counters we should test next.